gone for that long, right?
Mm, definitely not. Definitely not
So
that long.
hopefully we fixed the error for the production side. We had to redo some stuff, so the reason is because the CPU couldn't handle that is Shadowverse. So it's such a big game.
Yes, the game is gigantic, and the I think it was not just the game; it was the emotions of the tournament players.
Yeah.
It was filling into the digital space, and so the computer was having a hard time.
Yeah. All right, so without further ado, our next match coming up in about 20 minutes from now is MS Noah versus Shadow Lulu. Um,
Mm.
so Noah from Mana Surge versus Shadow Lulu, in other words. So a little bit about Noah here, if I can try to pull things up
Yeah,
on my end.
I've pulled some of his decks up, so obviously he's got Bloodcraft in there, and it's going to be the Phantom Cat Spawn of the Abyss kind of version of it. Anything you would just expect of a typical Bloodcraft deck would probably be banned. And moving on to Havencraft, he's got Aegis, one drop of Aegis, and he's running a more Garuda-centric deck. He's got 3 of Garuda, and has some Dark John in there as well, which I think has been kind of a. I think some people have opted to take Dark John, and some people have actually been okay with not having Dark John anymore. I think in
Okay.
Tempest of the Gods, Dark John was kind of a staple towards the end of the expansion.
Right.
But the only other thing here, of course, is a Tin Soldier. That is of note. And of course, Snow White there. So that's Havencraft for Noah. And then moving towards Shadowcraft, got the classic tried and true mid-range Shadow. There's nothing super notable here, super different.
Yep.
Just classic, got Necro Assassin Erd synergy going on here. So that's a thing. And then finally, we've got some Runecraft D Shift again. And you were talking about that, how D Shift kind of had its space in kind of the competitive scene and a slower pace of the game.
Yep.
So I don't know, maybe this is a thing that Noah is kind of expecting to be able to field here. I don't know how okay people are with playing against D Shift in tournaments, because I can imagine that can be very tilting if D Shift,
Makes it
rolls the
through.
curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing I'm starting to see with the pattern. I got some more bans from the other 2 matches that are off stream, and they all ban Rune, which is pretty interesting. They don't actually ban Blood that often. They actually ban Rune in this case.
Yeah.
So I find that very interesting. We all assume it's like, you know what, let's just ban Blood. We're not afraid of that deck. I mean, we just get rid of it, get rid of that problem. We can just build a deck around like the 3 and just win that. Nope. Runecraft is 100% banned so far.
Yeah, and it's just so frustrating to play with as well. And I think there's so little counterplay to it when it does actually roll its perfect situation that you just, hey, let's just not deal with that, right? Because it could potentially just be giving them that game-winning match.
Right.
That changes the whole thing. So finally, the last deck for Noah is going to be Dragoncraft, and this is again Queen of the Dread Sea. So we didn't really get to see that in the last game, because the Dragoncraft game ended with good Ouroboros play on the side of Goms. And Noah is going to be running something similar. Again, we have Lucifer showing up again, which is a common trend here. Conflagration is a card that's being used as well that was not used before. And then Queen of the Dread Sea. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yep.
But that sums up Noah's deck list here.
Of note, Polyphonic Roar is an interesting choice, despite, I think that's actually teching, because I think this is originally maybe a Queen of the Dread Sea, and then he's like, you know what, 2 is too much, we're just gonna make it a more of a rounder deck. So we're gonna play Polyphonic Roar to cover our bases if we play against Haven, and Polyphonic Roar does win against Aegis fairly well. We also, as you mentioned, Lucifer coming in, but that's just to protect himself from burn classes or burn decks that are coming in. But yeah, like I noticed like there's less conflagrations. Yeah, you still have the 3 Breath of the Salamander, but 1 conflagration instead of 2. Or the what's it call it, 6-drop dragon who does 1 damage to the entire board. None of them runs that, even though it's a good answer for like Shadow and stuff, but we don't see that in this list.
Right. So Noah, obviously a very popular player, one of the strongest from Mana Surge, and kind of is a very strong, consistent tournament player. But let's take a look at Shadow Lulu just a bit. Now, Shadow Lulu, looking at the deck list submitted here, one of the only players to bring Swordcraft, and we talked a little bit about that, right?
My favorite class.
Very, very rare now. I think there's maybe only 2 or 3 instances that Swordcraft has popped up in this tournament. One, of course, Shadow Lulu, and then the other one, I think Nethizzle has a Swordcraft deck. But other than that, I think that's it, you know? So let's take a look at this Swordcraft deck and talk to me a little bit about it. How do you imagine this kind of working in the current meta?
So this deck is more of a mid-range. It doesn't feel like a control list. He does have like things like Blitz Lancer to control the board. That's just to counter against like Tove, for instance. And then he has the typical starters. He doesn't run 3 goblins, so he probably cut 1 just to add in maybe a Roland or an Antiquity. So he's cutting the usual cards like Rabbit Ear Attendants. Actually, a Rabbit Ear Attendant, which is usually a 2 of. Luminous Mage usually a 3 of. Now it's a cut as a 2 of. Probably to add on Roland and Antiquity, things like that. Another thing too is that most Swordcraft, if you wanted to make it aggro, you would add 6 1-drops. In any case, this is more of a mid-range deck. That is the format with the Alice engine, where you run Lyriel, Atris, Shield, Goblin Lancers, and such.
And towards the end game as well, you have some very strong options. I mean, Albert is always a thing for Swordcraft, right? Which is quite a good game ender. And supposedly, now, don't blame me, but I still have many doubts about Roland. It's a fantastic card, and the aesthetics are great, but I still haven't seen it win a tournament. I still haven't seen it win a tournament yet.
The thing with Roland is that she's there to counter against big creatures that do more than 4 damage, and it's essentially used to stop Abyss decks or to stop Dragon from eating 13 to your face. And then you have Hero of Antiquity, which is pretty much your ender there that finishes off your opponent. So
very, very interesting card. Got Rush, can't be destroyed by spells and effects, so very, very hard to remove. You just gotta bash its 10 health down, which is an incredible amount.
So this overall, it's a decent deck. I just don't feel confident in Sword right now, because Sword
will definitely have a rough time, I think. But we'll see. It's definitely I feel like it'll definitely not be banned, so we'll get to see it perhaps here. And I want to see Roland win. I want to see Durandal block.
Just 1 win.
It can't just be that Roland wins a game. It has to be Roland wins with the opponent swinging something that is more than 4 damage, so I can say, it got the full value. You know what I mean? Because if it's just like you play Roland and then you win with Albert, next turn it's like, all right. What was the point, honestly?
What is your role? What is your purpose, Roland? Give us a reason.
And I'm sure, Roland, we're like the bad parents right now. Roland is like our child, and we're saying, like, what do you want to do in your future life? What is the point? Why are you doing this? You need to get a real job. You need to contribute to society. And Roland's just sitting there.
No, my bad memory is coming back. Not like this.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the... Oh, no. It's okay, Richie. Let's take a look at some of these other decks here, of course, running Shadowcraft as well. And this is, again, Demon Lord Ector is kind of a bust pick if you play Shadowcraft, so I feel like it just seems nonsensical to bring a deck that doesn't have Ector in it if you're playing Shadow. But it's interesting, 2 drops of Kawi, which I think is really, really strong. Healing, I think, right now is more important than ever. If you ever make it to that point in the game, you're probably going to be very low on health points. So having any kind of healing and kind of way to recover and then play out the late game is super important. And I actually think Kawi is a great card for that.
Yes. So essentially the target that he's aiming for is, like, we've seen Roland to counter against Abyss now, we see Cowie to counter against, once again, Abyss. So Shadow Lulu so far, out of 2 out of 5 decks, has been countering, expecting the Abyss. So if I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to let Blood go. Since he has 2 decks that are kind of prepared for it. And if that's the case, then he's more likely to ban out Noah's Rune and possibly his Shadow or Haven, and letting go the Dragon. Well, maybe Dragon could be the ban too. Rune for sure, and then everything else maybe, not the Blood. That's the prediction here.
All right. I'm gonna quickly go through this. He's running the Taboos rune deck, which probably is going to be knocked out of there. This is kind of the more classic dirt rune that we were talking about.
Yep.
And then his Havencraft list is going to be Aegis, so he's going to be leaning on the Heavenly Aegis win condition as opposed to the Seraph. And then for the Bloodcraft deck, it's going to be 1 drop of Spawn of the Abyss, and then 3x Phantom Cat. He's got Emeralda as well.
I see.
Kind
so
of
this
a little
is
different take of it.
Yeah. This is the Phantom Cat pure, and then let's throw in a spawn because we can.
Just because, you may as well. You do the contingency plan, if you may. Spawn of the Abyss is a good enough card on its own in certain situations to include at least a 1 of.
Of note here, Iron Maiden is a very strong card against Abyss as well, along with several other things like for neutrals, because a lot of them ends up being 2-drop. So Iron Maiden's we didn't see it last expansion, but we're seeing it quite often this expansion.
Yeah, and its ability to lock out is actually, I think, pretty important, and I think that it is random targeted as well. I'm pretty sure. So that means that there are certain cards out there, won't name which, that it could be very useful for.
So Noah's Dragon and Haven is now banned. And
ooh, interesting.
Noah is banning Blood and Shadow.
All right. So this is our second game in a row where one of the people is not banning Blood, and I think that is very intentional. Very, very intentional, because they probably are set up to play around it. And we'll see. Which actually is very interesting, because if you think about Tempest of the Gods, I think very early on people tried to do that against Shadow, and they were experimenting and trying to figure out a way to play around it, but it was actually very difficult. But certainly, if that last match was any indication, it's very possible to play decks that are very well suited. Now, given I will say this, I think that the Bloodcraft runs in the last particular round or the last match were not necessarily the ideal situations for Blood in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But they were still pretty good wins.
Alright, so we're about to get the room for Noah versus Shadow Lulu. Noah is the person we will be watching behind. Don't know if Spectator Client will be popping up at this hour, but we'll see. If not, hopefully they will.
We'll run with it.
Yep.
We can feel what it's like from that first-person view.
Yeah.
The terror when the Seraph deck had all the countdowns on the side. Oh my gosh. All right.
Alright, let's see here. Just waiting on Noah to make the room. Hopefully I don't have to add him as a friend. If not, well, at least we got a reason.
You've got a reason. You don't need to have a reason to be friends with people.
True.
Sometimes you just need to spread the love. Unless you dislike them, then don't be friends with them. Don't be friends with them.
Alright, we don't have this.
I'm excited to see how this plays out. Of course, we're just going through the round of 32 today.
Yep.
So we won't really know what the next steps of the tournament are quite yet. But as we get closer and closer to the end here, who do you think, personally, are your choices here? I mean, obviously, and very classically, ExG is at the top. They really have a lot of points under their belt, and between Gomsblaine and Dino T, they're incredibly well endowed, I would say. So perhaps they would be the strongest, but then Mana Surge as well, I think, has a lot of very consistent players, and especially Noah, who we're about to watch right now. 850 points, which puts them in kind of 8th place on the leaderboard overall. Is nothing to laugh at. Do you think Noah has a chance to make it to the end of the tournament?
Well, the thing with Noah is that I think I favor Noah here over Shadowlulu. Shadowlulu recently just gotten tons better in terms of play and just skill in general. But I think in terms of like veteran, Noah would have the upper hand.
That'll be interesting to see. I got to meet Noah at Anime Expo, so that was super cool.
Nice.
He's a super nice guy, and was really eager to play some games. So,
did you manage to play?
I didn't actually, did I? I don't think I got to play against him, but he got to play against some of the fans that went to Anime Expo as well.
Right.
Had a good amount of fun doing so. There were a bunch of people at Anime Expo. I really encourage you guys, if there's a Shadowverse event near you, come out and hang out, and I'll probably be there. And I know a bunch of other people will as well. It's super fun to be able to meet everybody, and kind of a bunch of the Shadow Nexus guys were there, which was really great. And it was just a really cool time in general. So if you're around, definitely do that.
And of course, he's popping up the weekly champion right there with that tag.
Yep, the weekly champion. Sick.
Okay. So now that we have the room up,
we're about trying to get settled here. Jump into the room to spectate some video games. And while we're waiting, it's been a while since we spoke, Richie. Tell me about what your current favorite deck list to play is in Wonderland Dreams. What have you been playing?
Are
you a scumbag? Don't tell me
scumbag.
you've been playing.
I'm a scumbag.
Oh my god.
I wanted the points.
I wanted the points.
I wanted the points.
All right.
It's
you know,
aside
I
from
look
that,
at you in a different light, but you'll still be my friend.
Thank you. I still play Seraph too. If I feel
Nice.
like there's way too many Abyss going on in the ladder or Phantom Cats, then I'm like, okay, here's my Seraph. Let me win this one.
It's a good choice. It's a very good choice.
Aside from that, I tried Sword. I tried the new Sword, the control list. And apparently that was rocking for a little bit, and then I don't know what changed or what happened. And then I wanted to try Burn Rune, and apparently that didn't work either. So I'm like, you know what, screw it.
Life is not for you.
Yep, screw it. Blood it is. And then that skyrocketed me to almost 3k.
Wow.
Yep.
Almost 3k. Look at you go. Skilled player. I I spend my time playing Neutral Forest and kind of having to learn how to play the game honest, because before then I always played combo decks. You know, combo decks are great because it's the good option select. When you play a combo deck, when you lose, you can say like, "Oh, I just didn't draw my
option select." We fighting game now?
It's the losing option select, you know? If you lose with it, then you say, "Oh, I just didn't draw the combo. You know, I didn't get the pieces I needed." So you're like, "Okay, cool. That wasn't a real loss, right?" But if you win, you're like, "Oh, look how smart I am.
Yep.
I found the combo and I was able to figure out some way to play it, and it's the best." But no, I would not consider that necessarily playing honest. But I think Neutral Forest is a little, it's different than Roach for sure. So that's been very fun. I've really liked that.
Alright. Waiting on Shadowlulu to come in. We have Noah right here. So, prediction. What do you think will go in first?
I think that Noah is going to play... Oh, that's interesting. So classically Noah, I just remember this, Noah was a very diehard Swordcraft fan, right? One of the biggest supporters of Swordcraft, and now he's just abandoned Swordcraft entirely. What does that say?
It
They
means
probably had an
that
argument. There was some domestic, arguments that were happening, and Noah walked out the door. Now Swordcraft is not in his life anymore. But I would expect, well, depending on what was banned, what was it? Rune and Haven were banned out for Noah.
So Noah's ban list is Haven and Dragon. So he has to play Shadow, Blood, and Rune.
And Rune.
And
So
Shadow.
I would expect he opens with Rune and then goes to Blood and then does Shadow.
Okay.
I think that's the order.
And then Shadow.
With little to no reasoning for that, but that's just my gut feeling.
Shadow Lulu bans are his Shadow and Blood. So he's left with Sword, Rune, and Haven. So we know that he's running Burn, a little bit of Burn or traditional Dirt list for Rune, and then Sword list as a mid-range, and then Haven, the Aegis. So, if anything, Shadow Lulu will probably open up with a Sword. And then for Noah, I think he would try to open with his Blood.
With his Blood?
Yep.
He's gonna take that Blood win first.
I think Rune could also be a good opener too, because his Rune list can do decently well with his swords. So we'll just have to see.
Alright. We'll see. I want this game to get on the road. Where's your opponent, Noah? Shadow Lulu is hiding in the shadows, so to speak.
Yeah, and while I'm massively pinging him, where are you?
Waiting for the players to get settled here. Obviously, it might take some time to kind of get themselves in the mindset.
Okay, there we go.
To get ready to go. Oh no, Shadow Lulu has the Alice portrait.
Actually, Shadow Lulu is dedicated to staying in C rank, and he's only doing that so he can climb for the points easier to get the rewards. So he loses purposely to get the 10k points. So technically, he's kind of like Grandmaster or Master range at this point.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I like the look of that C rank, little tag. Anyways, what do you call that? The pin? The rank pin? What is that?
I forgot the name of it.
I don't think it has a name, does it?
Banner? I don't know. Title?
Yeah. Title?
Oh, yeah, sure, we can do this.
Yep. Fine.
I mean...
So I guess we know what order they're going to be playing it.
Yep.
And you're right, it's going to be Blood first and Sword first. Look at you go, Richie. Look at you go. Wait, didn't you lose to Envy in the card predicting thing? Or what did you get? You got 2 out of 4, right?
Yes, but when it comes to like matchups and whatnot and predicting the player habits and whatnot, I'm more, since as a tournament observer and I'm watching it every single time, I tend to pick up, the most likely chances that their strategy gravitate towards too. But we'll see. They can choose any other classes that they want. It doesn't have to be in that order.
All right. We'll see. They're getting into game here. Ooh, we're gonna be in the library.
Okay. Rune versus Sword.
Oh, so I guess I was right. There we go.
There you go.
You must die.
There you go.
Now I did mention that Rune was also a good answer against Sword too before that.
Keep it. Keep it.
Yes, this is actually good at... Oh
my god, it got even better!
Wow. So, Angelic Snipe is not bad. Would have been better if he had the draw card here.
Draw. Yep.
But,
absolutely. I didn't see who was going first and who was going second.
I did not catch that either.
We'll have to find out in just a bit. But that's not bad, Got the D shift early and got a bunch of the early spell boost here. The only thing missing is card draw, which is very important. You kind of want to draw into slightly more options, but you can't complain, in this situation. Ooh. Golem Assault.
This is actually pretty good.
Wow.
Goblins feeling hungry.
Okay,
all right.
Drop. So Angelic Snipe doesn't do anything here.
Yep. And Goblins, the 1-drop for 1/2 is actually really annoying. It's actually incredibly annoying. He gets the 2/2 on the board here.
Yep.
He's going to be able to snipe and wind blast to clear board if he wants to.
Unbelievable.
So my concern here is if Okay, that's good. My concern is that if the sword player continued to swarm and he's not getting enough answers to get rid of the board, he might actually end up losing here.
Yep. But I think that, I mean, so far you've got 2 removal spells plus another Conjure Golem, with that being both achieving the spell boost as well as putting bodies on the board to help you. I think that you should be feeling fine. Now, I think being on the play is, I don't know, I don't feel like I play enough D-Shift to really tell, but my gut feeling is that being on the draw can sometimes be a little more ideal, just especially in this scenario where you don't actually have any card draw in your hand.
Right.
Which might be a little nitpicky, but I actually think it is important if this game gets to the point where Noah can actually play a D-Shift combo, you find yourself not having something like the Flame Destroyer or something like that, right?
Right.
That sucks.
What to do?
What to do? A very good question indeed. And we can't see the options that the Swordcraft player has in hand, but I imagine it's going to be 2 Rolands and the
Roland actually does well against D-Shift if you get to play on turn 7.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do the, well, if you're less than 12 HP, you're still dead, but if you're over 12 HP, then...
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
There's a chance. Albeit very slim.
So he doesn't have the optimal card, the Goblin Leader.
Mm-hmm. All right, Magic Missile is a bit of a draw, so I would expect you're gonna lead off with that. This
isn't too bad because he can draw and see what he gets and then smash it in. Conversely, he can also play Wind Blast to get rid of it.
Yep, I would say draw. Definitely. Ooh, Merlin's gonna be helpful. For sure.
But yes, Runecraft loves to keep cycling, so a draw is always the better option.
Yep. Alright. 17 health, turn 4, and I think this is really where Swordcraft wants to make some big moves. The 2-drop of the Luminous Mage is going to mean that it's a little less consistent of a draw here, but I really think Swordcraft needs to find some way to hold cards on board, and that's going to be tough with things like the Merlin Evolve coming in and the Wind Blast as well. And I don't quite remember, but I don't think Shadow Lily was really that heavily leaning on Storm followers.
No.
So I feel like it's going to be really, I feel like it's actually going to be really tough to get face damage through, and you definitely do not want to go late game against D-Shift, because that's just so much more time for D-Shift to get the combo. Oh, double Fate's Hand. Yeah. I don't know. One of them you would rather, I think one of them you would rather be spell boosting a follower now. You know, you're at turn 5, you have 4 other spells in your hand, right? You've got the Conjurer, Guardian, and then you've got Wind Blast and Angelic Snipe, and then maybe a Fiery Embrace for removal. I think you kind of wanted at least one of those to be a follower, but...
Yep. So he didn't play the 5-spell COCK, Night, Call of the Night, Council Knight.
Yeah, that gives you the 3 tokens.
Yep, that would have been the optimal play here.
It won't be long now.
This
interesting.
Hand? Not so much.
Let's get a... Witch Bolt. Nice.
Ooh,
Sorcery good. Cash. That's what's up.
Mission failure.
Alright.
No Evos now.
Yep, he used up all his Evos. And I think that's fine because he's kind of trying to... I think he's just trying to tide himself over. He still has Wind Blast that's got a ton of damage packed into it right at this point, and he still has Fire Embrace. So I think he's going to be very well suited here, and especially if followers don't have Storm, it's just going to be a pattern of, oh, I'm going to play my follower, it's going to get removed. I'm going to play my follower, it's going to get removed. The only thing that's scary is still got 3 Evo points, and there may be a world where there's a big fat Albert that comes down, and then lots of damage happens.
Okay.
Loses the Faria, but the Goblin Leader will survive with a little bit of an extra buff, but as we know, Insight is good. And that the Fate's Hands are both going to be 0 cost, which is going to be even more troublesome here.
Right. So interestingly enough, he needs to start drawing out his win condition now. His
Yep.
dimension shift is already at 10, about to be under 10. So at this point, he needs some like. There we go. Golem Assault is an answer.
He's at 9 cards. He needs to basically dump his hand now. He hasn't gotten a Flame Destroyer at all. But I guess the Golem Assault might suffice.
Yep.
So he does have a lot of options. I mean, he's certainly in a good position. 3 cards in hand for the Swordcraft player for Shadow Lulu. So it's not the worst. Oh my god.
Golem leader
Oh
taking
my
the 10
God!
to the face.
Oh my god, I'm surprised the guy didn't give. Jesus.
Alright, so dumping out his hand like you said. I like this. Still no Flame Destroyer. Bottom 20.
Yeah. And he hasn't gotten a second dimensional shift either, which is
You and I,
if you don't have the flame, I mean, one dimensional shift could certainly do it, but you have no Evo point, you have no Flame Destroyer, right?
Right.
You're probably gonna want a second one. And all of a sudden, I actually am getting a little concerned. You dump all your Fate's hands.
It won't be long now.
It's looking a little weird,
Shining
if I may
golden.
say so.
I would say it's a little bit concerning.
Yeah.
Now you have this
Looking a
board.
little-
You're
ooh,
also
double
running out
sorcery
of answer.
But even that sorcery cache, I mean, only one of them is going to really get the maximum effectiveness. You're going to get kind of a halfway sorcery cache if you use it again on your D shift. So it's like,
So what do we want to do here? How do we play Solitaire?
how do we play Sonic? I don't know what that game is, though. I don't know what you were talking about.
I don't know. That's not what we want. Well, I guess you
Yeah.
can just start swarming your entire hand with creatures and then play the D shift and hope from there. But that's not 20 damage to the face
Take
though.
up my shield.
And the Time Worn Mage is basically a week-old card without evolve points.
He's not young mage Levy.
Yeah. And I think it does warrant a lot of thinking. You know, how are you going to play out this turn? Got another Wind Blast there. Still, though, only 2 cards. It really is, I think, top decky now for Shadow
I
Lulu.
ride the
Yep.
incorruptible
Ooh, there it is!
Here's
There's
your
that
reason.
Roland.
Here's your reason. He
Come
probably
on,
just drew into
Roland.
that
It all
too.
ends here.
Oh,
Yep.
5 damage to face.
Mhm.
Wings are killing me. No.
Now the best part here is that there's no way that this Runecraft can get rid of this unless he decides to play the Rhymewind? Not Rhymewind.
Rhyme Wind.
Uh,
What are we talking about?
Winter Caprice, there we go.
Oh. Yep.
Wait, does that target Amulet too? I'm not entirely sure.
I don't think it changes amulets, no.
Oh, alright. So,
But,
Nothing can
hey,
change.
you know what? This is a learning moment. Let's go and look. Let us endeavor to find out. This is what we do.
in any case though, Golem Assault might be an answer he might end up playing, along with D-Shift, but I don't think you play it just now, unless this D-Shift gets below 10. You could probably do it. He's probably figuring out a way to get around this, and he's gonna have to end up playing Fiery Embrace. Take
Yep,
it.
it's gonna be Caprice's only followers. So that's here to stay.
This blade is yours.
And we remove, which is great.
15 cards left in the deck.
Yep, so one of them is gonna be what he wants here, but
Another Sorcery Cache, that's good.
Real magic.
he's getting another turn here.
Wait, did he see
He's
the future?
stretching.
I'm just a mage who's as old
He's
as
stretching. Did he see the future? Oh boy.
That's why I'm kind of saying that's an early D shift there, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think he's going for the gamble here.
Oh no, my mastermind is not keeping up. I don't know. That can't be lethal turn.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be lethal. I think
No,
he's just trying to buy time to, because, I mean,
Actually,
turn 9 is going to be painful.
I think he's just gonna swarm the board and just be like, you know what? I'm gonna go aggressive. I'm just gonna.
And I think that's the best choice, right? Because you can't wait for the combo anymore. You don't have a lot of turns left. You're going into turn 9 and turn 10 play point territory against Swordcraft that has a Roland on the field. And so you're open to playing Antiquity, and when Antiquity comes in, you're a Runecraft deck. What are you gonna do to remove that thing, right?
Well, actually, I think you can still do damage to it. So cards
Yes, you can swing into with followers, but like, for example, Wind Blast, Fiery Embrace, like those things are not things, right?
Okay.
And if you don't have the Flame Destroyer on the field, it's like, well. It's got 10 health, and he has an Evolve Bolt as well. Even these cards on the board only do 8, right? You're gonna lose 3 cards and not get rid of Antiquity. So it's rough.
So no Antiquity yet.
Yeah.
My time has come.
Uh-oh. That doesn't look good. I think this might be win. 2... 4, 5, 6, 7,
So he's
8,
gonna be
9,
able to
10,
boost
11.
for his D shift.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Is this enough?
but can he boost it enough?
No.
I
One more
mean,
turn.
1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6. So he can boost 4 times, but he won't have enough play points to actually cast the D shift if he does.
Yep.
But maybe the Magic Missile might draw into something that will help. I don't know.
Not sure.
Honestly, think that you should remove the Alice, probably.
Alice, yes, that's something that we need to get rid of. Or if we want, we can let it live and let Conjure Golem tank it.
Kind of absorb the shot. Yeah. Or you could do both. Ooh, yeah, and of course he's going to be getting the Flame Destroyers now because there's only 10 cards left in the deck. Oh boy. But I mean, all it takes, you know, you have the Destroyer, you have the D-Shift, and you have the ability to boost, right? All it takes is one turn to set that up, and you're still crying, right? He only needs 2 swings.
Where's your Albert? Oh,
There it is.
I was just kidding.
There it is. All right, so he gets a double swing, and that really puts like a very interesting timer on this. I mean, the golems will, the guardians will kind of hold that up a little bit. Definitely cannot kaleidoscope anything there.
I think he still wins here. Wait, yes. So he has a 0 or 1 cost D-Shift with Fiery Embrace to get rid of. Puts it a 5? And
So
1?
I think you can take the risk and okay, he's just gonna play a D-Shift. Fine.
Famous lethal?
So this is the end.
Or maybe I'm calculating wrong.
I don't think there was a way to do that. No.
No. Okay. Well, this is a game-winning board anyways.
So he's gonna do what? 4, 4, 8, 6, 12. So he has 12 damage ready to go right here.
There are no wolves, are there?
Oh, poor little Red
that's-
Riding Hood.
That is, Yep, out of cards. Goodbye. Roland did not help.
An exemplary battle.
We were hoping. And look, it did 4 damage. It didn't do 7. It protected 3.
Oh my god, and that wasn't even a D-Shift combo. Oh no.
Wasn't even a D-Shift combo.
Yeah, it was just his hand looked really good at the start, but it was a really awkward draw.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the scrappiest D-Shift games I've ever seen. Well, maybe that's not super true. I mean, I've definitely seen D-Shift games where it's like a brick, right? You actually just don't get what you need. And that wasn't necessarily that Noah didn't get what he needed, but he didn't not get it, but he didn't get it either. Right. It was like a really weird middle ground, and I don't know, that game just leaves me feeling like, wow, I don't know what just happened there. But Noah takes the win, and I think that he made a lot of good decisions with his D shift. I mean, I really like that he identified, you know what, at this point, let's just not go for that combo and let's play out this game with the options that I have.
Right.
I think that was super smart on Noah's end. So,
Well, now we get to see a switch to Haven this time versus Shadow. I think this matchup is pretty alright. Or so I like to think.
we'll see. We'll see how it plays. This one game is going to inform us about how the matchup goes. We're going to just make a decision about it.
Shadow
the
wins.
result of this game. Shadow wins? All right. There you go. If Haven wins, I'm going to forever say Havencraft beats Shadow.
Okay. We'll go with that. Alright. So, 2 Ectors already. I don't think it's a bad hand. I don't think it's a good hand either, but, you know. Zombie Party can help out with
it really
whatever he
depends
needs.
on the draw.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's quite a few times to draw here. But you definitely, again, you want... Okay, Snow White just doesn't die. You have to swing into it eventually, but just look at how bad that feels.
Ooh. Okay, using a
This is a
Zombie Party
party.
to get rid of it.
Yep. Snow White did not enjoy the party. Alright, here's an opportunity. Gotta have followers on board by the time you hit that turn 7 area. That's really the
Definitely
ideal
save.
situation.
Soul Squatcher there. I don't think you would be able to play it in time though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't really foresee a situation where you can build the shadows. He's gonna get, what, 3 at the most here?
Yep.
That's really the difference between having, you know, what was commonly understood as the catacomb days. The biggest benefit. There's just so many bodies on the board that you can just throw in. Get cudgeled.
Finally a break.
Cudgel's a pretty good answer against Shadow a lot of the times.
Nice. He's got the Chimera and just gonna play the Squatcher for a body on board, and I think that's fine.
The goal here is to build up as much Shadow as you can anyway, so you can start building towards Demon Lord Hector. Oof. Did I mention how much I hate this card?
Tin Soldier?
Yes.
Let us conclude.
Yeah. Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. It was rated as like an okay mech card, but now it's like phenomenal.
Yeah, March Hare's Tea Time is incredible.
Yep.
And I believe, I can't remember, was Shadow Lulu running the Garuda deck? I think so. Well, let me check. All right.
I remember it's just an Aegis with March Hare, just tea time. Not
Yeah,
much
it
for.
is. Yeah, no, he doesn't have Garuda.
Yeah.
Who was it that was running Garuda today? I have such short-term memory. Was it Noah?
Want to play?
Let's see. But that is a thing that can happen.
Yep. So I'm gonna trade in both of the zombies here. 8 Shadow now, so which means he can summon up to 2. Most likely the 3rd one once one of them dies. Then we're gonna see Pop goes to Themis.
Oh, just Retribution. That's bad.
Oh, okay. He's like, you know what? I don't want to trade, you're gonna trade it for me anyways. So we're gonna see Demon Lord Hector coming in, summoning out 3 creatures? 2 creatures? Just to trade in the 4/4.
Yeah.
Or
8 Shadows is not bad. I do think that there is value in playing the Hector to clear board, especially because you don't have any more Evolve Orbs. You kind of just need to seed that. Just be like, alright,
yeah.
play it. Now he's got the Ector, and he's got some chumpy cards. You know, not really that relevant at this stage of the game.
Right.
The second Ector in hand, which can help, but I just have to imagine at this point, Havencraft is really going to be taking control of the game. Ooh. That's one that we talked about a little bit before this, is the Iron Maiden. Snow White, not exactly the perfect card for this situation, but given that there are chumpy cards in hand and another one added to the table,
You gonna mess with me?
I think Snow White is fine.
I like this.
I'm gonna tell on you.
Gives him a
You
bigger board.
vacant.
Oh, he can play another one if he wants.
Hmm.
So that means that it protects from Themistocles.
Yes. And I actually think that
You gonna mess
it's
with
really
me?
important too for the shadow building here that can happen, both with the Skull Beast and Slow Conversion and the card draw. I think there's some very good options for, 2 turns down the road, 3 turns down the road for Shadowcraft here.
Yep. Because this automatically gives him 7 shadow if it all dies. Or 8, actually 8 in total. Because what he can do here, he can trade into the Attendant Knight, play Themistocles, and then this still gets to live. So that might be the optimal play if he wants to get rid of the board.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I think should be looking for some kind of heavier removal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could definitely just swing the Snow White in, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then do whatever.
That can work too.
Focus on your inferno, Tina.
Ooh. Okay, so you don't have a
You are done
Themistocles in your
for.
hand. That gives Shadow free reign next
I
turn.
can. I'm stuffed.
I'll live again.
Yep.
Yep, the Heavenly Hound.
Nice. Yep, and gonna lock out the Ector again. Oh god.
Quite the blocker, Iron Maiden. Quite the blocker.
Yeah, and because he's been able to remove the other cards surrounding Ector,
This head can't
it's
be
basically been a targeted lockout.
Right.
Gonna commit zombies here.
Lucius, I'm sorry.
Go for board clear, and now the Attendant of the Night swings 3 for face, but gonna lose that damage at the end of this turn. Ooh, nice.
vacant.
Okay. Gourmet is a pretty good one with the ultimate carrot.
Now, the only scary thing here is if you get your board removed, I mean, you've got Grimner, and then you're starting to lose options, right? You don't.
Right.
There's no card draw in hand, and Cerberus on its own. I mean, Cerberus is pretty good, but it's kind of reliant on having another card on board ready to go.
Right.
And so, I mean, your stretch isn't quite that great right now. Tin Soldier being at 5 means it's going to survive the Grimner onslaught. The fact that there are 2 Ectors on board, though, is a little bit concerning.
A little bit concerning too is that he still can't figure out a way to.
Oh, the Heavenly Hound, that synergy between that Snow White Heavenly Hound.
Again.
You can get it as early as turn 3. But not even Grimner can get rid of these 2.
Yep.
I actually opt to play both the Cerberus.
Yeah. I mean, the combination of Grimner and then you swing with the Skull Beast will allow you to take down one of your Tin Soldiers. Or rather, the one Tin Soldier.
Right. I think his intentions now is to play the Gourmet with the Mimi. Just use both of them, Gourmet it, and then do as much damage as you can at this point, because you're not going to be able to win the board with this hand.
Mm-hmm.
He also has to prepare for ages too, so the more creatures on board, the better. Just play the Mimi. Put him in a tent, do it. That's all you need. Be aggro. Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Well, that's your play here. Let's see.
It's for you.
Okay, so it dies to anything that it kills, except for the Kaiser. Not bad. He's also probably planning on playing the Grimner if it lives. But then that wouldn't really make sense if that was the intention.
Yeah, I mean, you have lethal, right? So he needs to wipe the board in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go for a double clear. But now you've got 5. Okay, that's gives him the shadows, that's fine. Alright, so we're in a situation here where Cerberus can clear the board. Or not Cerberus, freaking Grimner can clear the board, but I think you don't really want to pull the trigger on that quite yet. Gonna buff up, make that guy do 6, potentially. He spends the meme as well.
6.
Or he's gonna remove 1.
Take
I think that's fine because... Oh, okay, he's gonna hold. That's interesting because if you play Grimner, you can't actually play the Mimi. So I think he kind of seeded a turn behind, but he could have removed the card or done face damage, which is curious that he saved the Mimi there to me.
I lose.
Interesting.
He's got some shadows here.
Yeah, it's about 14, but a third Grimner. I mean,
Ooh, interesting.
My tempest shall judge you.
he's down to
Stop!
4.
Stop!
Mimi puts him at 2. Oh, no. Oh god.
It's unlikely that I'll draw a third Cerberus though, if he even has it in his deck, just because there's still quite a lot of cards in deck. Oh my god.
Doesn't it break your heart every time that comes in?
Yeah, the curate, just when you think you're yeah, just when you think you're there. I actually think this situation, there's not a lot of firepower here. You've played what, 2 Ectors, 2 Cerberus.
The Lord wills it.
Right.
Okay, one of the zombies gets taken down. It's just, I have to imagine that, I mean, Havencraft certainly has not gotten the options that it wants at this point in the game, which is giving Shadowcraft a chance, really.
Inferno, Tina.
Or having an Aegis in hand, because, you know, it's bottom 20 at this point.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
You get
Slow conversion, trying to fish for options here.
No!
Necro Assassin, hopefully it kills the 4/5.
I believe.
I believe as well. Is this it?
3, 2, 1.
Too loud.
Hey, Lamau.
Oh my god, you have to be upset about that.
Well, not too upsetting. I mean, you still have a 3/4. That's just 1 stats behind.
You're breathing too loud.
Okay, sure.
I'm sorry.
Just plays a Necro Assassin, And I really have to wonder, like, you need to start top decking something, right? I mean,
He has an Erd. Does he run Mordecai? No.
5 health is not too difficult. Oh my god.
Quiet.
That feels real bad. This is just grinding to a halt, this game. You've got more shadows that you can even imagine to spend on.
25. Where's your Tyrant?
I know. This is such a weird game. Noah gets the weirdest hands. Okay, the Iron Maiden. Oh,
That's-
grabs a 3.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's about 3 damage here.
That's the entire turn, though. Oh god, and a lurching corpse too. All right, so next turn is trouble time.
Stop!
You need to draw something.
Themis Decree number
Draw it.
2. Heart of the cards.
Draw it.
Emote, say thank you.
I don't know. It's tough.
This might be a surrender here.
This must be
think so.
fate.
No, he
If he gets the
he has a
2-2?
tribunal. Oh
Wrong one! But this works too!
So angry.
no! Oh my god, he's down to 1 health!
Somebody let this man have a miracle. Where is it?
The second, does he run only one of curate?
What?
What?
Oh my god!
Oh my god, no!
Please!
Why
Just
is
end the
this
pain.
happening?
Just end the pain!
Oh my god, he's not out yet, boys!
Oh my god.
Most impressive.
Oh, it's over.
Is
It's
that it?
over. It's over! You don't have any. You did not.
But that's game over.
Amazing.
The Bone Chimera defeats the Heavenly Aegis. The true story of David versus Goliath. Oh my, this was just trash.
Oh my god.
What did we just see?
It's called Drawing Bad Hands. Card Games Edition.
That was a fun game, to be fair. That was fun to watch.
Noah winning that second match.
Yep, so just the Bloodcraft deck left. And, wow. That really, just 2 games in a row, I think awkward draws for both players involved.
Yep.
And so we're at our final match here. Can Noah take the second sweep of the day, 3-0 again? We'll see.
Alright, Noah with
Time to
2
get
points.
started.
He just needs
Is
one more.
fighting and despair
Get that
all
3-0.
you know?
Okay, Wise Man, not bad. Along with no 2 drops, but more likely he'll get one. It's usually Blood runs 14 to like 17 2 drops anyways, so usually have a pretty good chance here. Okay. Having both the Goblin and a Razor Claw, not too bad.
Got me feeling hungry.
Haven playing out the Sacred Plea.
Apologies here.
Got me feeling hungry.
Alright, one to face.
Plays the Hound on 2, just for the 2-2 here.
Yeah, too bad he didn't get any of the
Oh my god. He's just got bodyguards everywhere.
Yep.
That's actually quite a lot of tempo and pressure in hand.
Yeah.
Gonna be reducing his own health, but I think he's not gonna be too worried about that.
It's okay. As long as he gets to dish out more damage than he needs. I don't think you want to play it just yet, though. Maybe just to...
You could,
Pass.
just for the 3 damage.
He could just pass.
We'll see.
3 damage?
Well, rather just for having the threat of 3 damage on board. Because, I don't... Well, we'll see what happens on turn 4. And I think really the question is, do you think Havencraft is going to get enough cards on board at this stage of the game to justify holding the bodyguard?
Right.
Which I think is... He'll probably play something and evolve it. That's kind of chumpy.
Right.
And you'll play your next bodyguard and be able to remove it, and then it might get a little tougher here. Oh man, today is the day of wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, what is up with these snipes though?
Yep.
Got you on lock. Alright, Beast Call Aria coming in. Any reductions? No? It's okay, got a Blackened Scripture. This Knuckles is not getting any
Yeah,
use.
it's not getting
I am a flower.
really
I
good value
bloom on
at all.
stage.
No.
And I think it puts him in an awkward spot because you kind of want cards on board to keep hitting face, but at the same time, if you're not going to be getting that fanfare effect on the bodyguard, I think you could get a little better value out of a 4-drop.
Yeah.
I mean, a different 4-drop, but
Still not looking good. If Abyss comes in, he can do about 8, but that's still not gonna finish. But hey, there's a Phantom Cat. Alright, draw me 2. Nice.
There it is.
Face.
Go.
and going to be able to clear out the judge.
It just took one card to just to turn things around here.
Yep. Of course, the Tribunal is going to make sure that that thing gets removed, which is handy. But there still is a lot of pressure that's not necessarily stoppable. The Cure is really going to help, and this is why we're talking about how healing is actually very useful to transition yourself into the late game, just because you can stabilize yourself and get to the point where that damage that you know is going to come in, for example, a second Phantom Cat or something like that, is not going to put you into really dangerous territory.
Alice is looking pretty good here if he gets another one too, because his entire hand is mostly just neutrals. Oh, a big Knuckle Abyss finally got use. Hey.
There it is.
My boss works us to the bone.
Alright. Do we get to see...
The real battle.
I'm thinking about Curate. Okay. I don't think you want to put him in Vengeance. Oh, never mind, you can still kill him. Alright. Though technically you don't have to go after the big guy, you can just go face. Yep. Put him in Vengeance. Now the thing with Blood here is that you don't have to worry about Blood being in Vengeance or not too much.
Lands of wonders, lands of marvels.
Baphomet, yeah.
Yep. It's going to draw in an option here.
Hey.
Got the Spawn. Useful. Very useful. Has the Evolve Orb as well.
And he's swarming it up for board. He probably might Themis here.
Check this out.
Are you dead?
I'm going to change the world.
He might try to bait out a Themis here. So that he can play.
Well, he has no ward on board. He has 7. No. This is
6,
real close, man.
7, 8 damage. Okay, so put him on a clock.
Yeah.
Conclude.
Evolve the clock.
Righteousness shall reign.
Let's play again. Oh,
Yep, and I think trading out is the best option here. Because your egg is a kill anyways.
Your pardon.
Now, Grimnir will automatically be played here.
That one didn't count.
Because that's the only answer for this.
Yep.
My Tempest shall judge you.
And that's the
Now
thing
the
with...
question is if there's removal here.
no.
Well, 3-4 is pretty big, so... But...
Yeah, if Haven has removal, the game is over.
Haven has plenty of those, unfortunately, though.
There it is. That's the Heavenly Aegis win right there.
I lost. You're tough.
Finally, one of his counter deck
We
actually
have
win.
never seen Abyss win today. We have never even seen Abyss swing. What is going on? Good games. So, 2-1 right now is the scoreline. Mana Surge Noah still has to win with his Bloodcraft deck, and Shadow Lulu extends his lifeline.
Yep, his score is now 2-1, so he needs to reverse sweep. Still match point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what class he's gonna be bringing in. Because Blood is the only thing that's left. Runecraft, okay.
Runecraft
Time to
against
get
Blood.
started.
And I think this
I
might
guess
be
you're
a
looking for
tough
a
one for
fight.
Rune. You're really going to have to draw into some very neat options to be able to stop what could possibly. Oh my god.
Ooh.
And with a hand like this, too.
Well,
I mean, we'll see. One damage pings, are plentiful in the Runecraft decks, so the Merman is not really going to survive a very long time, and the Faria coming in early rather than later means that you don't really get that evolve synergy.
yep. That's if he managed to pull that angelic barrage, not angelic barrage, but angelic snipe.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking there, what cards can I just change?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's going first, so that's actually pretty good for Runecraft, especially for dirt. Ooh, Tove. Oh no. Into Goblin Leader.
For you.
That's the curve. That is the one curve that most players cannot deal or handle.
Come gather round.
And then we have Tove coming in. So here's the thing, folks, is that once Tove's come in and you don't find a way to get rid of it, that's going to be a 3 to your face. Unless Kaleidoscopes comes in, and that's actually a pretty good answer. But, Atris, Faria, and Tove together actually helps out bring back your board. So here you can just simply play out the Goblin Leader. But the bright side of it is that this Runecraft player has this thing, Magic Illusionist, and what it does is that it gets to live again if it dies because there's an Earthright. So it revives itself, and you get to do, keep putting up more pressure, trade, do stuff. So this is actually really good. He's more likely to trade here though. Alright, so this is actually really scary now. So no matter what, if it dies, he gets to draw 2 cards, or draw a card. So,
I am a flower. I bloom.
so he's gonna have to make a decision here. Trading into that is fine too. You might have to end up evoing.
Like a bird.
Yep.
I say.
Trade into that, trade it again, and it doesn't feel good
Gather round.
to let your opponent draw this many times.
Don't hold your Come gather round.
Okay. So now we're in a situation where your opponent now has 5 cards. You can definitely start burning the well, he still has to trade no matter what. This isn't a situation that's favorable for him. But an easy solution here is on turn 6 he can play Mage Levy to wipe out the entire board as long as he has an Earthright on board.
All right.
So now it's turn 5. I don't know if this is a good. It seems like he's in a bad position. Seemingly he has to wait this long. Okay, I'm drawing to see what answer he has. That was his last Earthright as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're done for.
Magic Illusionist.
Figure out my tricks
Are you
yet.
gonna save it? Okay, good. He's planning on saving it. Has an
Yep.
answer for this? Yep.
That's the fair stand, and then uses the Witch Bolt. I think that's pretty comfortable.
Immediately plays a Scarlet.
Subrur, yeah. It's probably the perfect turn 5 play. It just does so much for you.
I am
And
a
it can even counter on the evolve turn that follows. It's just, the Bane is so incredibly good. Dance of Death is a fantastic option there, and getting that off the Wizardess is unique only to Runecraft.
Yep.
My boss works us to the bone.
Surprisingly, he's not going straight for his Baphomet just yet. He's holding it down for a little bit long.
Hey, check this out.
He couldn't play it anyways. There was no way to kill the Baphomet. But he'll do it here.
Death is another fiction.
No punish? No punish.
Yep.
So that means all of this card right here are all creatures.
Oh.
Or amulets.
Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in right now.
Oh boy.
The name's Levi, don't forget.
Finally a break.
It won't be long now.
Look at Levi. Isn't he
Here's
so
what
dreamy?
real magic looks like.
Let's play again.
In any case though. Ooh.
He's so dreamy.
These fists will finish you.
Oh, man. The bodyguard is actually a very good draw for that
Yeah.
situation. And now he's going to play the Baphomet, and doesn't matter if he gets a cost reduction, because he's going to be at 8 play points next turn.
Yep.
I think that's a good turn. I mean, these cards like Sabur and Bodyguard are really just enabling the Baphomet to be played, right? Because its value is incredibly low.
Yeah.
The name's Levi, don't forget.
Nice.
Ow.
I beg your
There we go.
Only
But-
problem here is Spawn of the Abyss.
Yeah. Now, would you say evolve the Abyss and swing immediately, or would you save it, clear the ward out, and try to swing face?
That's a good question. I'm actually concerned about that mainly because you're at 13 and I've seen Runecraft actually burst someone down from 13. So I would trade here. Debo that and trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is definitely the safer choice.
He decides to pass. Let's see, we have to... Noah has to hope and pray that he doesn't have an answer to do 9 damage in 1 turn.
Yeah. Which, I don't know.
Okay, this one's all me.
Alright, this is good.
thy punishment, the unfeeling dark!
I slipped up.
Yeah, so you went for the safe route there.
Yep, and I think that's fine. There's no evolve orbs on the side of the Runecraft player.
We saw earlier that Oz didn't take away any spells, so we can still expect 1 or maybe 1 or 2 spells, and the rest are all creatures in hand or amulets.
The name's Levi, don't forget. That one didn't count.
Okay. You're dead. You're beyond dead. Really.
Unbelievable.
Spawn of the Abyss dead. That's a type of dead you are. There it is. Bloodcraft wins a match. And you would think that Bloodcraft is not a favorite deck based on the way it's been going today, but was able to make it happen. Dirt Rune, I mean, tell me about how you feel like that game played out. It's typical, atypical of a Dirt Rune deck. What do you think was lacking for Shadow Lulu in that particular match?
Answers, burn cards, spells, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
He
Definitely.
essentially didn't have any cards, spell cards that can help deal damage to face, and he wasn't in a situation where he can utilize Magic Illusionist to just go face. Instead, his opponent played very well countering it by just simply swarming it up and playing ping damages to get rid of it more than once, and forcing him in a situation where he had to trade. So that is unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and that's gonna cause him to get knocked out. So Noah moves on to the round of 16. We have our second player today. Oh my god, it feels like it's been forever already, but the second player to move on, joining Goms, in that round of 16 stage. And
Yep.
Noah will continue to make it through. Not quite as dominating, a 3-1 win with some very, very what I would call unique games here. But they will not be meeting in the round of 16, but possibly in the round of 8 as they are kind of in a different set of brackets there. But that being said, we're going to be moving on to ExG's very own Gengar versus Tong, who is a very highly discussed player, as I have come to understand it.
Yes. So Gengar is I want to say a fan favorite, but he's up there. I think DV8 beats him in the popularity list amongst the favorite crowd at this point. But yeah, Gengar, he's a fun chap.
He's a fun chap. That's a good way to put it.
All right, gotta
Let's
go
take a
get
look
these
at
two.
Gengar. We've got so many decks as well, just because of the 5-deck format. But let's take a look here and see.
I just hope Tong remembers. He seems to be offline on
Tong,
Tong. Wake
the
up!
legendary. What?
He's hailing from Thailand, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Very interesting. All right. So far, we have quite a few other matches to chew through.
Alright, so for Tong, Gengar is banning Tong's Blood and Haven.
Blood and Haven will be out, which is going to leave Tong to play Dragon Shadow Forest. And this will be our first forest deck that we see. Looking at the Forest Craft list, looks like, oh wow, look at that. Is that crazy? Does that look crazy to you?
I'm not there yet.
He's got, okay, so hold on. First, he's got, cool, some neutral cards. Abby the Axe Girl, fantastic name.
Right.
He's got Twin Assault, fine. Kindly Treant, cool, okay. Flower Princess, great card. Everything seems all nice and cool. I think Beauty and the Beast and Arya synergy is incredible. But then he's got Sahagwell, and he's got Lucifer, Dark Angel Olivia, Israfil, Bahamut, and Zeus.
Zeus?
What the hell am I looking at, Vindy?
Did you just say Zeus?
I said he's got Lucifer, Dark Angel Olivia, Israfil, Bahamut, and Zeus.
Okay, that is some pretty high end freaking.
Am I looking at Dragoncraft or Forestcraft?
Maybe he just took the both and mashed them together.
What am I looking at? Why is this a thing?
I mean, Tong's
Somebody please tell me. I am a scrub. Please tell me what is
Tong
happening
might
here.
know something that we don't know yet, so
I
this will be an interesting match, that's for sure.
Yeah, I just want to see the Forestcraft deck from start to finish. I just wanted to see it now.
Okay, so let's see where Tong is. Fortunately, okay, never mind. He is alive. He's just invisible. Whew. Okay. 2 minutes away too. Waiting on the band. So let's go ahead and take a look at Gengar's list here. What is he packing today? So on the shadow side, which is his main. He's going with the mid-range. Nothing's out of place or special about it, just a typical mid-range Shadow. Followed by Blood, which is a Phantom Catalyst with just one Abyss. Nothing out of place with that one, and then for Dragon, let's see, Polyphonic Roar Dragon. Now lately on stream he's been liking that deck style, so it'll be interesting how he's gonna run this deck.
Absolutely.
His Haven looking to be and Statue Seraph with 3 instead of 2 Seraph. He put in 3.
Wow, you really
no
want to go into
curate.
it.
No curate at all.
And it seems like it's, yeah.
He runs Frog Cleric instead.
The Frog Cleric can be quite useful.
Yep.
Especially because it scales into the, I mean, it starts out with just a 2/2, right? And then you can get the extra effect going in late, so it gives you a little bit more safety, both being a later option and an early option.
So then his last one is Runecraft, which is a D shift. So
Yep.
all of his list is more
Understandable.
control, late game.
And it seems like control is kind of the name of the game.
Yep.
For competitive play. Just really leaning on kind of having a lot of options to play out your opponent's options and give you more consistency to survive the incredibly aggressive meta.
Alright, so we're going to be in the perspective of Gengar. I'm going to go ahead and let him have my friend code, because we're friends.
The very best friends.
The bestest. It's unfortunate because on my main account I have the whatchamacallit, I have him as a friends list, but on the newer account I do not. So that's a little bit unfortunate here for me.
So you're saying you are supposed to be friends with him,
We're supposed to be.
but you've abandoned that life.
For now. Okay, so we're gonna have ExG Gengar versus Tong. Round 1.
Alright, excited to jump into it. Haven't seen Forestcraft yet today. I think it'll be good to see some forest representation, especially such a unique deck. At least for this particular round in the tournament.
Right. Oops, I chose the wrong ones. I'm sorry. Where people forgot to turn on spectators.
I wonder, a lot of the players kind of in that Asian region and China and whatnot talk about Tong for
Tong? Yeah.
yeah, and I think getting to know his history a little bit more, and obviously he seems like a very well-renowned player. I wonder what makes him unique to stand out of the other players from that region.
Well, from according to this list, not much, except that he's won the Chinese All-Star Tournament that came in 4th. And then the NAEU, he came in first, Season 4 first, and OC/OCE first. Oh wait, no, I was reading the wrong person. See, he's from Hong Kong, he won the C/OCE Season 3, and he thinks Jingjing is unrivaled. Apparently Jingjing and Tong are both good friends. So.
Oh. They have an information share.
Yep.
The two of them are strong together.
Yeah. Tong knows a little bit more English, so I think he translated most of the rules. Both Tong and Evil Dark. Evil Dark is from Taiwan, and he's also a streamer for the Taiwanese community. So all 3 of them together, and they all won the C/OCE tournaments to get to this place. So that's how he got here. I don't think Tong was a Forest player though, so I think or maybe I'm wrong, maybe he's a Forest main because he has Elven Knife, but you know, I don't know anymore.
You can never tell anymore.
Nope.
These people are, they all, I think, have a good amount of time spent in all sorts of different crafts here.
Right. So Shadow, for Gengar, Shadow is banned, and his rune is banned, allowing his blood to go through. Shadow and rune, and then so we will be seeing his blood, and we're going to be seeing his dragon, and lastly his haven to go through. Now his haven list, he's been playing with Onion Shape for a while, and usually Onion Shape is known to be a very strong haven player. So those two have been sharing info about how to run the tournaments and all that stuff.
Right.
So mirror match, dragons.
Bow before dark dragon.
All right, we're
Roar
getting
of the
into it.
skies. All who oppose shall be
Here
crushed.
we are. In the mulligan phase. Not necessarily great, but now you have, I guess the Blazing Breath is okay.
Yep.
And the Ayala here, especially going second, having that removal is useful.
Yep.
And drawing into the Dragon Oracle is actually fantastic, but we'll have to see if a similar hand was drawn on the other side, because going first and ramping can be really damaging.
Right.
But
I mean, the mirror matches here is just he who ramp first wins first, or ramp the furthest first. That when, I don't know, the one who plays Bahamut last wins.
The one who plays Bahamut last. That's a good way of putting it. Dragoncraft mirrors, obviously we saw a lot of them in Tempest of the Gods, but Dragoncraft mirrors really have a tendency to just slow down a lot just because of the incredible powerful options that they end up playing back to back.
Yep. Doesn't look too good. That's for sure. At least for Gengar, he didn't get to... I don't know if he ramped before, or maybe they did both ramped once. Yeah, they both ramped once. Oh,
Yep.
turn 5 pass.
Oh wow, that is not good.
Well, that's not too bad.
To be fair, there's not really a strong turn 5 play here either. You get 2 free cards on board.
Goblin Breaker's not going to do anything, that's for sure.
Yeah, might be useful to be able to just have the ability to swing with an extra card on the next turn, or at the very least soak up some damage.
Yep. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with Evoing to go 4 to the face here. I guess he's just trying to put up
It's
some
damage that
pressure.
could. I think the interesting thing is oftentimes it's damage that can end up being healed up, and you lose resource that could have maybe been very impactful on the 10 play point card down the road, right? Unless you really believe that you can close out the game as you get to that point, or right when you get to that point.
That hurts.
Okay.
I don't think you gain so
There's a
much
lot
value
more
off
where
of
that
it,
came
but
from.
A dance to make the world blue.
so there it is. The evolve is gone,
Gotta take a break.
and you healed up.
Yep. Blazing Breath wasn't even enough to kill it. Oh, I was just kidding. Here's a salamander.
Salamander.
I mean, technically he can play the Tina and then the salamander too. Clear it.
Yep, which I think
All
is
must come to an end.
definitely the way you want to go. No point in doing the enhance.
Okay, turn 8. What are you gonna do? Well, technically it's not turn 8, but still. Ouroboros would immediately be an answer. Just go 3 to face, Evo, and there you go. You don't, well, technically you don't really need to Evo either. If he doesn't have that, then the other answer would play another, where are you? There you go. Sybil.
That thing.
That thing.
Forgot about that card anyways.
It
It's
was
so
just
long
played.
ago.
It was just played 2 turns ago, 1 turn ago.
Alright, my eyes are blurring. What's happening?
Mirrors. Exact mirrors. They don't know what to play. They don't want to reveal their big hands. Because, you know, Gengar has 2 Bahamut, and our friend Tong might possibly have 3 Bahamuts.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. I mean, do you play the Bahamut thinking that you have more than your opponent in hand?
Lucius, I'm sorry.
Or do you sit and wait?
Okay, Lucifer. Easy heals for to back up to 20, even though you're at 20.
May all life
Good call.
prosper.
Great call.
I'm pretty sure
There it
he'd
is.
Evo here just to push for 4.
Ready to witness
Yeah.
my true strength?
And threaten with that,
Once I
threaten
believed.
with the 9 damage.
Yep.
Lucius, I'm
Harry.
sorry.
It's gonna force some kind of option here, but at 9 play points, I'm sure there's something. To be fair, there's not. Okay, well, 4 cards in hand is about normal.
Yep. 4 cards in hand is this, well, if he starts pulling out Dragon 5-drop, draw 2 card in Orb, then he should be alright. Oh, there it is, Polyphonic Roar, and both of them plays it too. Wow. Except he gets to play his first, so now...
Well, there's still a lot of threat. You're
Wait
taking
a
9
minute.
damage.
is he
I
dead?
mean, if you
He's
play
dead.
the Bahamut, 9, 4, 13.
Oh. Close to dead.
Yeah, very close to dead. Do you play the Grimner? Does it make a difference? I think you keep the Grimner, honestly.
Harry.
Because...
You want the ping. If there's no healing here, you win.
that's pretty ballsy coming from Tong there. See if he gets
Yeah.
his reward for playing it.
It's gonna be hard to imagine. You definitely need to clear out the Lucifer. Oh, but at
But
20
you're
health,
still
you still
dead.
can't.
You're still
Yep,
dead.
the Grimner will kill you.
All.
Oh no, Tong, that's too early.
Ready to witness my true
That's too early.
Oh no!
No, Tong.
What does that even mean? Was he really? No, I can't. No, there's no way. You.
You got 2 ways
there's
to
no
die
way
here.
May all life prosper.
Oh my god! And he's going this way.
You
He's just gonna pass the turn and let it happen.
Go ahead, punish him.
Once I believed.
Sick him.
Harry.
Perish.
Victory is a
Oh
testament
my
to your
gosh.
strength.
My brain just hurt. Those last 2 turns just hurt my brain a little bit. I wasn't quite sure what happened.
I'm pretty sure he
But-
felt safe behind the Odin there. Then Tong's like, yeah.
The Zeus, yeah, with the ward. But even then, like, you have to imagine, like, at 2 health, was it Ouroboros,
Yep.
Lucifer, Grimner? You know, there's so many options that could just end up killing you. You know what?
Yeah, like he just went up and got shot.
Yep, that's probably the most effective I've seen Lucifer in a long time as well. Some very, very strong Lucifer turns.
Yeah. I'm surprised he even let. I mean, polyphonic roar I felt was not the answer there. But
Yeah, letting Lucifer swing for 9 and then get the tick as well that's incredible amounts of damage.
that was super greedy from Tong.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Dragon, once again, versus Blood. Now, I don't know much about this matchup. I don't see this quite often, especially in ladder.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would imagine if you're curving out, you're feeling pretty good. You got the Tove and some Goblin Leader, and you're missing the 4-5 play points of your turn here, but going first on Blood against Dragon that just skipped turn 2, that is pretty horrendous. It is, in fact, very horrendous. And this is looking more like the classical Bloodcraft that we all know and love.
Yeah.
Whereas all day today, we haven't really been seeing anything quite like it.
Oh no.
Grimner. Okay.
Hi, I'm a Tove and Illyrio combined to kill your Grimnir for free.
Mm-hmm.
I am a flower.
Then on my next turn, I just obliterate you with Fairy and you
Yep.
don't kill it.
Look at that. That rush effect is so incredible. Being able to do that on turn 4 basically means that you got. I mean, it's typically a little less damage than the evolved play,
Yep.
but you went first, and on turn 4 you had the capabilities of basically having an evolved turn.
Oh no.
And you have to pass. You're dead.
You're done, Zeb.
Like a bird, I say.
Oh my. Oh.
She's singing for us.
Oh my God.
See what happened, boys? When you don't ban Blood, you let that crazy thing happen. All hope is lost. Despair. It's okay, Rady. Stay awake.
Oh God.
Don't go into the light.
I need a toilet break. I need to vomit a little bit. That was so much damage. And the double Faria as well to get that buff. Oh God, it was just everything about that. Oh.
Well, that was a quick 2-3 minute round.
Yeah. What a contrast too. All day today we've been seeing long drawn out control matches. And then that happened.
So now we got the Beast Call Aria. We got the Haven this time versus Dragon. Still sticking with it. Decide not to change. Getting nothing but answers this time.
Yep. Havencraft. Ooh, okay. That's fine. And he's gonna play the Beast Call Aria here first, and I think that's fine. You want to set up your amulets.
Yep.
And get prep. So here comes the Snow White, and we're getting into that territory where you can start Tribunal. You have Banish as well, which would be great against the Ayla. And I think you're looking pretty good. The Prison Priest is going to be helpful, and I believe it was it Tong who had the 3 Seraphs, or was it
This was 3 Seraph.
Gengar that had the 3 Seraphs?
Yep.
Okay. So he's going to pretty likely draw into that option, and Double Hollow Dogma is really going to help with that.
Yep. Now, if Prison Priestess grabs the Seraph, which is a pretty decent chance, he might possibly get the win here. But if Dragon decides to hyper ramp to 10, then it could be kind of a problem.
Yep.
You can still take hits, not too much though.
Yeah, I mean it's a strongish board here, but right at the perfect time the Beast Call Aria will pop, gives Gengar quite a bit of tempo here, and then the Tribunal to add on to that is a strong turn 5 play. Only now just ramping, and I think that's great, but that banish, the one banish on the Ayla might be enough to put the nail in the coffin. We'll see.
Okay, so he's
got what he needs. Yep.
Still got the Zodiac pieces.
Yep.
Now he just
Now
needs
it's
the
just a game of surviving. Yeah. He needs to survive. And it's ideally going to be a turn 9 finish for him. But we'll see. That means basically his native card draw, or he's just going to want to get a lot of Prison Priestesses here. He has a Judge of Retribution, which I think will help tide him over.
Okay. At 8, 2 more turns. Now here, turn 9, if we see a polyphonic roar.
Oh, there it is. All right.
That could possibly be game winner.
Yep. That's great. That's great. He is in such a good position now.
Yep. Polyphonic
And I
roar
mean-
is now useless.
Yep. And there's not even like
Wrong because I'm good.
the options just aren't great. You have evolution orbs, which are nice, but ideally you would like to be on turn 10 right here. And guess what? That was that Isla, right? If the Isla had pumped, you would be on turn 10 right now.
There's a polyphonic roar. Now, can he possibly still lose here? That's 5 to face. That puts him 13. Can he do 13 on turn
5
10?
to face. If you
Plays Dread?
I believe the highest damage would be Genesis Dragon, right? So 5 to face, 7, 9, 14 damage.
Oh, does he have
Like,
Dread?
oh, I guess. Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Because
This
Dread,
is the turn to make it happen.
Dread is the
if
answer
you have
here.
it.
Dread would
If you
kill him.
have it.
Yeah. DQ Dread is the answer. Play it.
I don't think he does. I would really highly doubt that. I mean, you do have 9 cards in hand, I guess. But I would be surprised.
Because there's no any other way to do 18 damage in 1 turn. No possible.
I think
Probably
he's done.
crying in the answer. He's just...
Yeah. Tong is just gonna have to roll the dice and he's gonna... Nope. That's it.
That's it. That's game.
And now the reality will set in as Gengar will play 1 by 1.
His Zodiac pieces.
Countdown. Yep.
His Krampus deck isn't...
Wow, Seraph. This is the second time we see Seraph win today.
We're gonna be seeing that quite often.
Oh, and he got another healing prayer. Wow. Upset. There it is.
Come, Exodia!
No, Exodium's not casting this tournament.
This victory is a testament
He's
to your
hanging out, doing
And
whatever he's doing.
So, Seto Kaiba loses.
There it is. A good Seraph win. And I believe that's going to put Gengar, what, at 3-0?
Yep. That's
It's
another person with 3-0.
With 3-0. And I have to say, and when you look at it, I mean, if we look at the points leaderboard, right, Gengar should be pretty high up there. He's number 9. And I think consistently the higher points earner has kind of found the win. And that was really kind of the trend of having these tournaments where you can prepare deck lists. These players who are on the top of the leaderboards are really good at that preparation, identifying kind of what they need to bring against the opponents that they're playing with. Their practice and the time leading up to the tournament is really well spent. And that's what gives them that consistency, and we continue to see it here.
So, not much story with Gengar preparing for this, but if you watch his streams, he normally just ranks it up with Shadow, and so he did explain some of the tidbits of like how to play against it, and if, in a tournament setting, you would think that your opponent would always ban blood, but that's not usually the case. So people in this tournament would always figure out a way to play around it or take the chance to, you know, find their weakness and you know, target that instead. So in this case, like, we know Gengar plays Shadow, and we saw that his Shadow was actually banned.
Right.
Because that was his main class, but you know, Gengar's been preparing to play all these other different classes, so he isn't just, you know, focused on just one class, he's versed in others.
Right. Absolutely. So that's it. Gengar moves on to the round of 16, and he will be very happily joining his friend Goms up there. And looking at the round of 16 bracket, so far we have Goms that made it through. I believe Lucette made it through. And then Noah, who we just saw, as well as now Gengar, will be facing off against Noah in the round of 16. And soon enough, we'll be jumping down into the rest of the round of 32. And there's a few more matches there.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to it.
So the next matchup we'll be watching is at 3:15. So we're gonna be on break for roughly 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere, some music will be playing, and if you have any music to pop or show, there's a command for that. But for now, we'll be on 10-minute break so that we can prepare for the next match between MS Mana Surge's Sky Sama versus Twinstar. I think Twinstar was in Shadow Nexus? Or am I getting to the wrong person?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't remember either. Or CLU is what his name is. Anyways, chat will tell us.
Yep.
So again, if you guys are hyped for MS Sky Sama versus Twinstar, tweet it out. Mention at Excelsior Vindy about the upcoming matches happening, so that we can, you know, bring out more viewers to watch the continuing of the first round for the championships. I kind of worded that kind of weirdly, but you know. Everything's on the spot anyways. So followed by Sky Sama versus Twinstar, we'll be watching a pretty good match about two Forest mains who actually did not bring Forest into their list.
Oh no!
Potwasher
So tragic.
versus Asia.
Alright.
After that, we will be watching Fatina from Crimson Vesper versus Mana Surge's Red, who is the owner and captain. Well, I wouldn't say owner, but captain of Mana Surge. And that's an interesting match. We may not watch it because Fatina is just on the fence with this. He does have an exam that day, but we try to get him in at a good hour. After that, at 6:15, we'll be watching Jingjing versus FLCL, or ExG FLCL, Fuliculi. Followed by CPV Fantasy versus Evil Dark, so Korean versus Taiwanese. And last but not least, Boltals versus La Costella, the Korean versus the America, all over again. So, stay tuned guys, we'll be right back.
Alright.